Sometimes the biggest scientific discoveries don't start with a huge experiment. They start with a single, really smart question. A question that makes you stop and say, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. Today, we're going to dive into one of those questions, and it'll lead us to a biological outlaw that breaks all the rules. Okay, check this out. This brilliant question from a reader gets right to the heart of a truly bizarre biological puzzle. On one hand, we have this fundamental rule about how our bodies work. On the other, we have diseases like mad cow that seem to completely ignore that rule. So, what gives? How is this possible? So here's Biology 101, right? You eat a protein, let's say a burger. Your body doesn't just absorb those burger proteins whole, no way. Your stomach acid and digestive enzymes are like a demolition crew. They smash those big, complex proteins into tiny little building blocks called amino acids. And only those amino acids get a pass to enter your bloodstream. It's a crucial security checkpoint, but what if something could sneak past the guards? To figure out how this rule gets broken, we have to meet the bad guy. And this isn't your typical villain like a virus or bacteria. Nope. This is a story about a protein. A protein with a very, very dark side. See, in its normal, everyday form, a prion protein is totally fine. We all have them. It's a protein called PRPC, and it's a perfectly normal part of our cells. It just does its job, no harm, no foul. But something can make it change. It can flip and become something else entirely. And that's when we meet its evil twin, PRPSC. Now here's the really weird part. They are made of the exact same stuff, the same string of amino acids. The only thing that's different is their shape, how they're folded. The good twin, PRPC, is harmless and frankly pretty fragile. But the rogue twin, PRPSC, is misfolded into a shape that's not just destructive, it's practically indestructible. And this is where it gets terrifying. When one of these rogue PRPSC proteins bumps into a normal, healthy one, it forces the good one to misfold too. It's like a zombie bite at the molecular level. This starts a chain reaction, a slow-motion catastrophe that spreads through the brain, causing fatal diseases like Kuru, CJD, and mad cow disease. Okay, so that brings us right back to our big question. To do all that damage, this rogue protein first has to survive the journey through our digestive system, which is designed to destroy proteins. So how does its shape make it so tough? It all comes down to architecture. The normal protein is mostly made of these flexible, springy coils called alpha helices. They're easy for our bodies to unravel and chop up. But the rogue prion, it refolds itself into these flat, rigid planks called beta sheets. And that structure, that's its suit of armor. This beta sheet armor gives it some serious superpowers. First, it's super stable, so it can shrug off stomach acid like it's nothing. Second, these flat sheets love to stack together, forming these dense, concrete-like clumps that our enzymes just can't break apart. And finally, all the spots that our enzymes would normally attack are tucked away, hidden deep inside that rigid structure. It's a molecular fortress. All right, so the prion has survived the acid bath of the stomach. Impressive. But that's only step one. Now it has to get out of the intestine and into the body. How on earth does it breach that wall? Well, it doesn't use brute force. It's much smarter than that. It uses a classic Trojan horse strategy. It disguises itself and piggybacks on systems our body already has in place. Here's its main trick. The rogue prion grabs onto a protein called ferritin. Our body needs ferritin to transport iron, so we have a special VIP pathway just to absorb it. The prion just latches on, and our body, not knowing any better, gives it an express pass right through the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream. Security completely bypassed. And it even has a backup plan. Some prions get snagged by specialized immune cells in the gut called M cells. These cells pull the prion across the wall, giving it a second entry point into the body via the lymphatic system. Once it's in, whether through the blood or the lymph, it finds a nerve ending and begins its slow, relentless climb up the nervous system all the way to the brain. So there you have it. We've just walked through one of the most incredible survival stories in all of biology. But let's rewind and go back to where this all started, with that one simple question. Because the story of the prion isn't just about a weird protein. It's about why it's so important to question things. I mean, think about it. The scientist who figured all this out, Stanley Prusiner, was basically laughed at. He was proposing an infectious agent with no DNA, no RNA, something that went against everything biology textbooks said was possible. But just like our reader, he saw something that didn't add up, and he had the guts to keep asking why. And that's really the big lesson here. Discovering prions didn't just solve a medical mystery, it completely flipped our understanding of biology. It proved that even the rules we think are set in stone can have massive, mind-blowing exceptions. It's a perfect example of how the greatest breakthroughs happen when we challenge what we think we already know. So one single protein that learned how to fold the wrong way defied a basic law of biology and launched a whole new field of science. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other unbreakable rules are out there just waiting for someone to ask the right question?